Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is very cold and we're in the greenhouse. I couldn't really do a video outside and I needed to do a video. I can't do a video outside because it's like really cold and misty, so you can't really see anything, and it's just not really pleasant to work outside. So I decided I'm going to do a greenhouse video, and today's video is on carnivorous plants. If you don't know carnivorous plants, it's your sundews, your nepenthes, your serracenias, and your Venus flytraps. Most of you will know the Venus flytrap. It's those really cool plants that actually close. And Darwin was actually really astonished by the plant as it had the ability to actually catch its own food. So the reason that Venus flytraps actually have developed the ability to ingest their own food and catch their own food is because they were grown, where they come from, they are grown in very poor soils, and they needed to find other way to find nutrients. So that's where they developed into carnivorous plants. So today's plant we're going to be talking about is the Venus flytrap. This is your green variety. You can see it's actually full of moss around here. That's because I actually need to repot it, but very easy to care for. At the moment they're coming out of dormancy, so every year in winter you need to let it go dormant. You need to do that by keeping it out somewhere where it gets quite cold. So the misconception is that people sell them as indoor plants. They're not actually indoor plants unless you have grow lights or you can have lots of sun in your house. But these plants definitely prefer lots and lots of sun. Mine are starting to come out of dormancy, and when they do start to come out of dormancy, you actually need to go and pull out any of the dead Venus flytraps. This is just to allow for new traps to come through, and just to allow space for new traps to come through. So that is the Venus flytrap, the green variety. You do not want to feed this plant any meat-based substances. You can feed them insects such as crickets, aphids, fungus gnats, spiders, anything of that sort, but do not feed them any meats or like burger or anything like that, because you can actually damage them in the long run. And you don't want to close the traps purposefully, because you can actually damage the plant by doing that, because it takes a lot of energy for the plant to actually close that trap. So it's okay if you can do it, if you want to show a friend how cool the plant actually is. You can do it once or twice, but don't do it to all of the traps, because you could eventually kill your plant by doing that. So these plants also like to grow in boggy conditions, so that's why I have mine in a saucer that always has water. Never let them dry out. You also want to make sure that you don't want to fertilize them. They make their own food, and you don't want to have them in soil that is high in minerals, or like potting soil, or high in nutrients, because you actually burn the roots and you can kill your plant very easily like that. So you want to use peat moss and perlite as your growing medium. So that is the Venus flytrap. Next one is the Venus flytrap. This is the not the variegated one. It's the one with the red inside, the actual trap. And these ones are pretty much the same growing guide as my green one. And yeah. Next plant is a sundew. Sundews pretty fascinate me. You can see all of these little droplets on the hairs here. What this is it's a sticky substance which actually catches bugs. So what will happen is, you can see it's sticky and it will stick to your finger like that, and ants or bugs will crawl onto it and they'll get stuck onto it, and then the plant will ingest them. There's also a Venus flytrap in here. These are also just coming out of dormancy. Also, they like boggy conditions, so I grow them in a drip tray, and they always have moisture. Also like lots of sun, and yeah. Next one is the sundew. Sundews are very beautiful. They're probably one of my favorite carnivorous plants. They are by far one of the most intriguing ones to me. They have these long tuber-like leaves, you can so call them, and what happens is that they have a little nectar at the top of the tube, and a bug or something will be attracted to it, and they'll fall down into the tuber. And what happens is that there's actually almost like stomach acid, which is enzymes inside there that digests the bug. So these ones are also just coming out of dormancy. I've pruned it all back, and you can see there's new growth coming out through over here. And this is a green variety. You get many different beautiful varieties like the red ones and different types of sarracenias. And I just have the plain old green one. They're quite expensive, so in the future I'd like to buy different ones. Oh, and they also like to grow in boggy, have lots of sun, and also do not fertilize them. Third one of the most fascinating ones, is your Nepenthes. Nepenthes, this was one of my first Venus flytraps. So what it does is it actually produces these also tuber-like little cups, and what will happen is there's also nectar on the edges here, and bugs will fall in, and the enzymes inside the Nepenthes will digest it. Mine's not looking too great at the moment because it's coming out of dormancy, but it's starting to put out new leaves and new little cups. The cups usually have these, let me see if I can find one. Here's a dead one. It have these little, they have these little caps on top of them. That's just to stop rainwater from going into them. I've had some Nepenthes that have swallowed different types of animals, like I've had them swallow mice and other little critters. So these are starting to come out of dormancy. I need to repot it soon. They also like lots and lots of sun, and they also like to grow in boggy conditions. Also, do not plant them in potting soil, as they will also be burnt. And yeah, so I need to repot this. This is about a few plants in here. It's not looking too healthy at the moment, but as I said, that's because it's coming out of dormancy. So what I do in spring, I bring them back inside the greenhouse, but in winter, in autumn, I'll go and I'll put them outside, somewhere where they're quite exposed and they get frosted, and that's just also to let them die off, and they'll die completely down. But do not throw them away. They're not dead. They're still alive. So don't go and throw them away and say, oh, my Venus flytrap has died. They have not died yet. They'll come back to life very quickly as soon as the weather starts to warm up. That is your Nepenthes. We'll also have a miniature little Venus flytrap here. It's not looking too good. The trap's starting to come back to life now. Also like boggy conditions. Most of all of the plants here like boggy conditions, except for the Nepenthes likes lots of moisture. Do not let them dry out, but I do not grow in a boggy condition. Boggy conditions. I leave it moist all the time, but I do not keep it in a drip tray at all times. The Nepenthes actually can become an epiphyte. You get some that are pretty big. They actually become sort of like a vine, where they actually grow next to a tree, and they'll start to grow around the tree, and they'll let out a whole lot of cups. You get many different varieties of Nepenthes, as I said. Some are very, very rare. You don't get many different varieties here in South Africa, but I'm really hoping that I can bring some through. These are just the varieties that I have. I have lots more outside, and yeah, so I'll show you guys how to propagate them in the next video, and pot them up and separate them in the next video. They're very easy to care for. Often there's the misconception that Venus flytraps are really, really hard to keep alive. That is not true. You just need to make sure that you get them the right environment to live in. They like warm, humid summers, and then they like cold-ish, moist winters. I find that mine grow perfectly outside here, and obviously this year we got very, very cold, so we got down to -12 in some parts, and they really got hammered by the frost. So I'm actually quite surprised that most of my collection has actually stayed alive. But I'm planning on getting some new varieties, and yeah, so my favorite one out of these is actually the Nepenthes and my sundews. Sundews you can actually find here. They grow wild where we are. There's these ones that grow wild where we are. They're miniature little ones that you'll find at our dam, but these are the different ones that are really special plants. So this is how I create my artificial bog. What I do is I just line all of them up here, and I fill this up with water. I'll check it on it every third day or so. just to make sure that they have all of the moisture that they need and that they don't dry out. They like it here in the greenhouse, and I actually use them inside the greenhouse now as a insect repellent, not repellent, eater. So I'll put them in the corner, and I've actually noticed a decline in the amount of ants that I have in here. And yeah, so they're getting fed, I'm happy, the plants are happy, and everyone's happy. So I hope you guys enjoy this quick video on how to grow your nepenthes, your sarracenias, and your sundews. And your Venus flytraps. I'll see you guys next time. Please like, share, and subscribe. It would mean a huge amount to me if you guys shared this video to as many people as you could. And I'll see you guys next time. Cheers!